Hi, it's G, and welcome back to Katharos Royals. This is the last part of the introduction, and I decided to save the royal family for last. The name of the house is Midas, and they have been the ruling house since the founding of the country. Let's dive deep into the history. The following content might be triggering. There's gonna be marriages of relatives, different types of deaths, addiction, etc. The country was founded by Catherine Midas. Katharos is an island, and after the fall of the empire, she proclaimed herself a queen. Kate had 6 children total, never officially married, and had many lovers. She chose her third daughter and oldest of triplets as the heir to the throne and bestowed noble titles to her other children upon marriages. The exception was her only son and youngest child. He was executed for treason. Moving on to the second queen, Victoria, she was first married to Malcolm and had a son, Nicholas. Their union was arranged, and that might be one of the reasons why Victoria went on to having a child with someone else after becoming the queen. To this day, there are only rumors of who's the real father of Princess Lana. Secrets do not end there. Malcolm and Nicholas were both poisoned and investigation failed. There were rumors that all of it was planned by Baron Orange and the foreigner he brought, Cassian, who ended up becoming Victoria's second husband. There were also reports of a fallout in their friendship when the royal wedding was announced, which was mended with betrothal of their children. Victoria and Cassian went on having twins, Henry and Jaelene. The queen was happy and seemed not to notice that her second husband was a power-hungry man. Sources suggest that he was behind Princess Lana's alleged scandal that led to her being quickly married off. Cassian pushed his son to become the heir despite a lack of talent in politics, while his twin sister was well versed in it. That's why she went on to become the royal advisor and the most powerful person in the country. Victoria's second husband succeeded, and after her passing, Henry became the king. Cassian gained a lot of power, and it seemed like he was the one ruling the country and not his son. But that didn't last long. He passed away just 2 years later. Henry had 3 official wives: Helena, the first consort, she came from the barony of Austria; Alison, the second consort and adopted daughter of Countess and Count of Austria; and Ariana, the third consort, she comes from the Viscounty of Austria. Henry was a disaster of a king who had no interest nor talent in ruling the country. After his father passed away, he seemed to have lost control, started to indulge in alcohol and drugs. Later in his life, Henry moved away from the palace and surrounded himself with lovers. King Henry had 10 children in total. With his first consort, Helena, he had 3: Juliana, who later became the queen; Lydia, Marchioness of Austria; and Luther, husband of the late Duchess of Austria and royal advisor. With his second consort, Alison, Henry had 2 sons: Arthur, husband of the late Baroness of Austria, and John, husband of Viscountess Mercy of Austria. With third consort, Ariana, the king had 2 children: Hazel, late Duchess of Tamis, and George, husband of Countess Rosemary of Austria. Henry also had triplets with one of his lovers that were later legitimized: Claire, second wife of Viscount Albert; Greta, second wife of Duke Nicholas; and Nancy, second wife of Lord Liam Dodson. Due to the king's incompetency, his first consort, Helena, and twin sister Jaelene, the royal advisor, were practically running the country. The 2 of them created succession laws, and with Juliana's accession, matrilineal primogeniture was officially established. Juliana was extremely popular with the people and had 4 consorts: Geoffrey, who comes from the Duchy of Austria; John, who comes from the County of Austria; Leonard from Viscounty of Austria; and Martin from the Barony of Austria. Juliana had a child with each of her consorts: Tiffany with Geoffrey, Alice with John, Otis with Leonard, and Louis with Martin. Her oldest daughter succeeded her and became Queen Theophania. She was married to Belle, who comes from the Barony of Tamis. Unfortunately, Tiffany got sick and after many years of struggle died from cancer. That's one of the reasons she didn't have children. Giovanni didn't want to leave her wife alone with a child and a country to take care of on top of it all. Her younger sister, Alice, inherited the throne after her and became Queen Adelaide. She never expected the crown nor wanted it, and by that time she was already struggling with depression and alcoholism. Alice married early, supposedly because she was caught with Kevin in an appropriate situation. He was actually famous for that, but couldn't get away from a royal. Alice seems to be very happy and content. She was given the Duchy of Alatea as a wedding gift. If only Kevin would leave his previous lifestyle behind him. They had 3 children together: Dominic, husband of Baroness Clara, and twins, Kate, the current queen, and Sophie, the Duchess of Alatea. During Alice's second pregnancy, another woman was also carrying Kevin's child, which everybody found out about only years after. When the scandal broke out, the ruling queen at the time, Juliana, sentenced Kevin to indefinite confinement. She was mourning her first concert then, so her mood definitely wasn't good and merciful. Alice divorced Kevin and never married again, plus her mental health was in ruins. Due to the fact that Alice was divorced and had no desire to marry again, when it was certain that she will inherit the crown from her sister, an exception was made to hold a selection for Catherine, who was second in line. Usually selections are held for the heir, plus only monarch and their heir can have multiple spouses. 4 nobles were chosen for Kate, but she could only marry one first, and other had to wait until she becomes the crown princess, basically until her mother succeeds the throne. Kate married Thomas first. He comes from the Duchy of Austria. When she officially became the crown princess, 3 others joined the palace. Bella, the second consort, they're from the county of Austria. Auden, the third consort, he's from the barony of Austria. And Caden, he was Kate's fourth spouse, but she gave him a divorce after giving birth to her first child. He wanted to be with his childhood love, and Kate granted him that wish. But public doesn't know about this. I should mention that all matches were made by the council. Kate got along with Bella at the beginning, due to their similar age, but that didn't last long. When Alice became the queen, Catherine became the crown princess as her oldest daughter, and the Duchy of Alatea was given to Sophie. I also want to touch briefly on Alice's relationship with her children. Dominic, the oldest, was the only one of the 3 who actually could understand what was happening during the scandal and divorce. It took a toll on his self-esteem. He was very unsocial during his teenage years, and after getting married, left the court for good. Sophie was Alice's favorite child, while the other 2 didn't receive the affection they needed due to their resemblance to their father. For most of her life, Kate sought her mother's approval and was jealous of her own twin. Eventually, Alice took pity on her ex-husband's child and invited her to work in the palace as an assistant. She also continued to struggle with mental health throughout her reign. The lead royal advisor, May, was a lot like a parental figure and took care of her, even though she was very controlling and did a lot of questionable things in the name of the country. May was really good to the queen. Now I want to talk about Queen Adelaide's death. Even though I always put trigger warnings early in the video, this is your additional warning. Alice visited her ex-husband in a specialized clinic that he was admitted to due to the addiction to drugs, which the royal advisor, May, enforced to pacify him. Despite bodyguard's plea, Alice wanted to talk to him alone. She felt guilty about the state he was in. For the past years, she avoided any mention of him and was unaware what was happening. Kevin attacked Alice. Thankfully, bodyguards came back on time, but Kevin himself died accidentally during the struggle. For a month after that, Alice didn't leave her room, and a psychiatrist frequently visited. That didn't help, and she took her own life. At the time, Kate took Juliana to her room to cheer Alice up and found the body. Liana still has nightmares and avoids drinking. That's how Kate became the queen. Public only knows that there was an accident, and after a month of struggle, Alice died. Let's move on to the current royal family. Kate's reign is exceptional in a couple of different ways. First of all, she is Catherine II, first one to reuse a name. Second, there is an unusual title, King Grandfather. Due to the fact that neither of Kate's parents are alive, plus John previously held the usual title of King Father, and he's still a part of the council, even if he doesn't have much influence left. And third, the first time all of the sovereign's consorts are on the council. Usually only the first one would be, but since the third consort is the father of the heir, it wouldn't look good to exclude him and could potentially damage Crown Prince's reputation. If two of the consorts are on the council, then leaving one out also doesn't look good, plus Bella is very good in politics. That's how all three of the consorts ended up on the council. And before you ask, no, Kate is not public. She's only romantically involved with Thomas, hence the children. Thomas worked hard before Kate opened her heart to him, and he's very much devoted to her, even more than to his own children. Odin doesn't mind that, plus he's Arrow. Him and Kate are friends and co-parents, that's what works for them. Bella and Kate is a different thing. They were close right after the selection, but that didn't last, and after years of back and forth, they decided to settle on being partners, plus Bella found their passion in politics. Now on to the children. Juliana is Kate's firstborn and heir. That was an accident, to be honest. They found comfort in each other and got drunk, and that was on Alice's coronation date, so one day before other Kate's consort officially entered the palace. Thomas and Kate have 3 children, Nicholas, and twins Evelyn and Sylvius. Evelyn is ahead of Nicholas in line of succession due to female preference. I think that's it. I wanted to include as much of important information as possible, but there are also a lot of detail I left out. Funny thing, I forgot a lot of things and had to check my old posts, like the fact that Tiffany abdicated in favor of Alice, and that Royal Advisor May passed away 2 years before Kevin and Alice incident. I probably messed up something, but oh well. Well, that's it for now. We will have a ball next episode and we'll go back to the story itself. I have an idea of making a video about traditions, customs, and laws because there's a lot of interesting things. Let me know if you're interested. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!